Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bikinis After Babies. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am one of your hosts, Mandy Rochon, here with your other lovely host.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We're so excited to have you. We're back with another episode, and today we're going to be doing a June Q&A. But first, we like to always begin with a little touch base and see what we're up to and just catch you guys up on where we're at in our journeys. So, Mandy, why don't you share with everybody how your reverse is going and what you've been getting up to? Looks like you've been having lots of fun.
This last weekend was absolutely fantastic. This was my very first weekend. This was my very first weekend at home in about 6 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
It was my first Friday in my own bed in about 6 weekends. And that is incredible. It was just so relaxing. I haven't been able to just relax in so long, to the point where really a majority of my weekend was like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And actually we got a lot accomplished, but we just had a really good time. We chilled. I spent time, with my husband. We went to a river market here in Kansas City, walked around. I feel like I got so many steps in, walked everywhere.
Yeah.
We went biking. Really, this weekend was just super chill. We finished off, we had one more soccer game, and then we have no soccer until August. So everything's really just coming. I know.
Are you
No camps.
unsettled? Like, what am I going to do with myself? Because
Yes.
I get that way a little
It's
bit.
getting there, because Wednesday of last week, I was like, oh my gosh, I need my chicken cooked. I need this stuff done. I need to pack my food. And I'm like, no, you don't, Mandy. No, you don't. Like, it's okay. But no, we also had some pretty fun dates. We,
Yeah.
we went out to lunch. We went out to dinner. We tried to do a murder mystery. It was an epic
Oh
fail.
my God. That story, though, is hilarious. Oh my gosh. And I would have
Well,
done the
I
same
don't.
thing. I don't want to waste my calories on not
And
great
it's funny.
food.
I was joking with my coach about that. I was like, I'm not wasting my calories on shitty food. So,
Yeah.
long story short, Erin planned and booked a murder mystery for us to go to, just something different. And the way that it read was it was supposed to be more of a show instead of like an immersive thing. So I was really excited for it, read the menu. I was like, oh, this is super easy, really nice, like chicken piccata with these garlic herb potatoes. And it was hosted at a 5-star hotel downtown.
Yeah.
So we went there. The show was running late. It was kind of messy. It was just chaotic, but that was okay. It's just like a fun show. But
Yeah.
I just spent 6 weekends being around masses of people.
Oh, your
And,
social battery was on E. I get it.
and I didn't realize how immersive this was going to be. And neither
Yeah.
did Erin. So, we're in this murder mystery, and they're like, oh, here's a sheet of paper. Go talk to all these people. And it's like a room of 80 people. And I'm like, what did I just do? I just want to sit here and eat my dinner. And then on top of that, they were delayed on dinner. I don't know what happened with that, but the dinner didn't arrive
And my
until
girl was
over
hungry.
an hour later. I was hungry. And for you listeners, I don't get angry hungry. I get more sad hungry. So I just get frustrated. I usually might cry or just out of frustration.
Yeah.
But this was so bad, I couldn't stop laughing. Because
Oh
when
my
we did get our
gosh.
food, when I say I think I
like
know what
prison
prison
food.
food is,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And again, this is a 5-star hotel downtown Kansas City, and they
Yeah.
served us boiled chicken with an ice cream scoop of shitty mashed potatoes, and I'm talking cheap 99-cent veggies. I looked at my plate,
Oh my God.
looked at Erin, and I just started laughing hysterically. I was like, I'm not gonna eat this. I'm starving, but I'll wait till I get home. He was not having it because he didn't want to eat it either. And so we got up, walked out,
What
and
if you
went
were the
down
murderers? Like, what if you ruined the whole thing because you were the
we already
killer?
knew who the actors were. You could see
Oh.
the way that they had actors implanted at different tables, and you immediately, if you were paying attention, I guess, could tell who was kind of the actors. So no,
Okay.
you could tell that Aaron and I weren't involved
You
in
weren't
it,
having
and
it.
so
Yeah.
no. But yeah, anyways, we walked out and we went to a beautiful seafood restaurant and had dinner, and it was really good.
Nice.
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about you at the very beginning of your peak week
Yeah.
next week?
Technically, it starts tomorrow because I compete on Friday. of
Oh
next week.
yeah.
So tomorrow is peak week. Oh my God. It's just a scary. Well, I've been ready. Like last week, I was like, oh, I wish it was here now. Like, I just want to get on with it because, the ending of this, show weekend coming up is like, I've been preparing for this for 2 years. So there's a lot of anticipation and, just I'm not nervous. I feel very prepared. I'm just like the worst is like the time between prejudging and finals. And then I think waiting on the line and waiting to see if you're in first call out and then kind of how that all plays out. Like that's the part that gets me nervous when I think about it, just because it's anybody's day. Everybody looks so good. I for a hot minute there in between, like right when I got home from DC, I was doing a lot of comparing, researching people, and like every big show that I saw, I was going straight to the class that I'm in and looking for the winner and comparing myself. I'm like, I gotta stop because I don't know what people are doing, who's going to show up. There's going to be people I don't see coming, show up, new people or people that are coming back after a long break. So it just doesn't make any sense. It's a waste of energy. And so I just have to bring my best. And so I leave Tuesday, flying out. And yeah, I'm excited. We got to plan a little bit of a different strategy for this peak week to bring me in just, right for that show, the one that means the most. And then we'll just see what happens and then go from there. My season will not end after that. Regardless of the outcome, there is another show 2 weeks later. It just depends on how Universe goes, where I'll be. So
Which
I
show you
have
go
more
to?
hotels booked, kind of depending on the outcome from Universe. So we'll just see. So everybody can tune in. I'll actually link the live stream below because it is active now. So I'm competing in Masters Bikini over 40 at NPC Universe in Teaneck, New Jersey next Friday, July 5th.
I'm
Holy
going to be
shit
sitting
balls.
in St. Louis watching the live stream.
I know. And then I'm coming home on Saturday and we're having a big dinner, girls' night.
Yeah.
I'm so well, and husbands. But yeah, I'm excited.
They're there too.
I'm letting you
They're
plan
there.
it so Brian didn't
Oh,
screw it up. I
I'm
let you plan
so,
it. I can't wait. Well,
I
it's just
have
cool because like we
embraced
haven't.
planning
Yeah,
life.
well, you do a good job. I like a very thoughtful person, and I'm that way for other people, but it just
Hmm.
never like seems to like come back this way. And so I'm really excited just to just celebrate with you because I mean even like the last time, well, we've socialized quite a bit, but I feel like one or both of us have been in prep, so it'll just be
Always.
nice to And I'm
Hmm.
this is how I roll. I do not do what I say or do what I do, but I have a cheat meal that weekend. Like I don't really
Oh, after your
overeat.
show?
Yeah, like some people, like when I was in DC, like the girls were like, "Well, I have Universe in 4 weeks. I'm probably not going to cheat." I'm like, "Oh, like, am I a fat ass?" Like, because I was going to have a cheat meal that night, which was Saturday, and then Sunday I was going out to dinner. I'm like, I'm not doing that. For 19 years, I've always done this,
Hmm.
right? And if anything, I feel like it gives me like the best workouts that week.
Hmm.
My weight. Within a couple days, it's back down to what it was on show day. Like I just know my body, and so regardless of when what show I'm doing, whether it's another national show or it's a pro show, it's 2 weeks later. I've been at this
Yeah.
stage condition for a couple of 4 or 5 weeks now, so I'm like, it's not gonna hurt. It'll be fine. But I like you'll see. Like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna eat all this. I eat like 5 bites. I'm like, I'm so
Hmm.
full. So,
But also,
but yeah,
like
I'm
you
super
said,
excited.
I think
Yeah,
there's a difference. Like, your body, so like, you can go do that. Whereas, like, somebody new is like,
yeah.
oh, I'm going to go eat a burger
Listen
and
to your
fries.
coach.
And
Just
then
do
they
what your
go
coach
eat a
tells you if
burger
you're
and
new.
fries.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they eat ice cream. And then they eat cookies.
Yes, I
And
would
then they
never do that
eat
because I would
donuts.
shit
And then
myself.
and it's just like, it keeps going. And you really don't know
Yeah.
if, yeah. Like, I've tried different
Yeah.
things before, like, to where I've gone out and had a bunch of carbs. I've gone out and had a smaller meal, and then I've done like the breakfast thing, like gone out the next day and had like a big
Yeah.
carb breakfast. So I don't like it. I think
Sugar
it
seems
just
to be
depends.
the thing that I just have to stay away from because that I feel like
Hmm.
makes me feel the worst out of everything. But it's not what I usually crave anyways, and I don't take anything with me.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll take like, a little mini bottle of champagne or something, but like I don't have anything packed.
Hmm.
But I mean Brian's coming to New York, so we'll go to dinner in New Jersey on Friday and then dinner with you on Saturday. And then Sunday I'll just be back on plan. So I'm not worried about it,
Yeah.
honestly. But I think that it's just taken time to get there to understand my body and, um,
Hmm.
I've been able to like increase my food over the last like 4 weeks. So like I'm not really craving anything, just
It's
I
always the
just more
best.
food. Like I still have a lot of small meals and I'm kind of like, oh, I could really smash like a whole cup of rice right now. But yeah, so feeling good. So excited. And today we'll just kind of have a little girly chat and do some Q&A because we get a lot of questions throughout the
Mhm.
month and we love your questions. We always answer them. I don't save them for this podcast, but if you aren't in my DMs, then I just kind of went through and grabbed some of the ones that I've been speaking with people about. And
Yeah,
so,
especially if our clients have questions after show or
yeah,
during
yeah,
their prep, like, common questions that we kind of see here here a
yeah,
lot. It's just we start thinking about like, oh, well, we can easily talk about that on a podcast. So it's a
yeah.
perfect time to throw it all together. Hmm.
Yeah. So I thought it would be fun to start with a rapid fire. So these are like
I
questions
love that you
that
called it
people,
that.
yeah, I should put
Rapid
on like
fire.
that
Let's
intense, like
go.
Jeopardy music, like,
Da da da.
nah, nah, nah. So, anyways, um, yeah, so maybe in post we can add some music. Just kidding. I don't know how to do that. We probably screw it up. Anyways, rapid fire Q&A. Ready?
Da da da.
Mandy.
Okay.
Okay. So these are quick answers. Favorite workout clothing, outfit or brand in prep shreds?
Oh my God, Amazon.
Just Amazon? Do you
It,
have a
no,
brand?
I actually really don't. It really is just Amazon because Amazon, like, listen, here's the deal. I have gone to all like in person, brick and mortar, all the cutesy little stores.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. I've gone to the cutesy little crop top short stores that are called all these different
Mm-hmm.
names at the mall and they're adorable. They look adorable. I go in there and the cute little crop tops like 40,
No
$50.
thanks.
Yeah, no, sure.
For one of my
That crop
daughters to
top,
steal it? No, ma'am.
it's
No.
ridiculous. I have learned to like go to Amazon, look at different stuff. Majority of like the cute, like you said, you have the shreds. You kind of want to show them off. You have these adorable crop tops or tank tops or sports bras, and
Mm-hmm.
you can order a haul of them. And a lot of people will do this with Shein too. They'll do Shein
Yeah.
hauls. Yeah. I
But
like to do
Sheen,
Amazon.
Sheen, you cannot send back though. There's
Exactly.
no
That's
point.
why.
And Amazon's great because you can,
You can
because I
send
think some of it's
anything.
finicky. Like I'm picky about my leggings and my shorts, and so,
So I know that Momshell has like we have our Amazon storefront, but
mhm.
I daily in person DMs get asked about my clothes.
Me too.
And
Me
I
too.
and I always I
I
keep
send the
a
link.
store
Like
link.
if you like something I'm wearing, just ask me. I'll send you the
This is
link
it.
because
Yeah.
I'm not a gatekeeper. I like to share. So
Yeah. So like I will order a bunch of stuff from Amazon because it's
mhm.
19, 25,
I know.
14. And then if it doesn't fit, I'll just like the next day I'll just go take it back.
Hmm.
And then I'll just
Yeah.
usually it's like same day credit or you can like of course put it back on whatever card
Yeah.
you bought it with. But that and also I will say recently has been Target. If you're watching on YouTube, like this top I'm wearing right now, it's a cute little like crop top tank top. I got it at Target for like
Yes.
$8.
Love it.
I love
Use
it.
your red card
Love
and
it.
save 5%.
5%. So
Okay,
your turn, rapid
mine.
fire. What
Okay,
about you?
rapid. Yes. Okay, so my favorite shorts in prep are tiny waist shorts by Bombshell Sportswear. I love them. They don't dig into my thighs. They don't make my butt look
Mm.
weird. They aren't, they're just comfortable. I love them. I have them in every color. Um, and then I love like our those crop tops that have the U shape here in the front. We're always wearing them. Like I have them in like 10 different
The
colors.
meshy ones?
The three pack of they're like a sports bra crop top.
Oh,
I've been
yeah, yeah,
wearing the
yeah.
shit out of those. Yeah, I
I
have
have
them
no
in every
idea what that
color.
brand is, but
I
it's
don't
Amazon.
either. I'll link it. But yeah, so typically like some sort of a cute like cropped. I don't like my boobs out at the gym. I just don't. So it's
God,
usually
I
something
do.
that's I just don't. I don't
I
know.
don't know why. Like, it's
You're
just
like
my
God, I
it.
do.
I do. Like, I've embraced it. Like, all my friends, like, if you guys see me at the gym, I am always wearing some low cut sports bra, crop top,
Tits
tank
out.
top. Always. Like, you know what? Years ago, I just, like, it fits my personality somehow, and
Yeah.
it's really cute, and my husband thinks it's cute, and it's me.
Well,
Even
you
when
are
I go
like
out to
me. You have
dinner.
cleavage and a t-shirt, so anything you wear, your
Yeah.
boobs are out. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
try. I mean, I just try to. maybe not have, I have really cute sports bras from Bombshell. I always end up listing them on Mercari because I'm like, I'm never going to wear this to the gym. I'm just not. And well, and my kid goes there, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
so whatever. But okay, that was really slow for a rapid fire. We got to rapid through these.
You gotta rapid.
Okay, so this is I love this question. Guiltiest pleasure, habit, or activity that you do in prep but would not do outside of prep?
This might not be rapid because I really don't know that I do
I sent you
inside
this
of prep.
hours ago.
Okay, I know, but I really don't know that I do because I'm such a habitual person that I do inside prep. I think
Yeah.
the stupidest thing I do is I do cardio on the treadmill instead of walking outside, even when it's really nice. I won't do that.
Hmm.
It's weird. I think that's stupid though. It's not.
Well, I have a couple. I guess they're just like
Okay, you
idiosyncrasies.
say
Like,
some and it might click on me. Like I might think of something.
okay, I have like 14 lists going in my notes of my phone all the time, and I'm fanatical about them. And then once prep is over, I will not touch them or look at them again. It's like um my training. It's like I have another list that's like to-dos, like prep to-dos, like for every single day. It's posing, stretch, training, cardio, food on point, water intake, and I have to tick it off
Do
every day.
that.
So that's another one that's kind of like weird. And then the other thing is, I like binge watch shows like Love Island and like Perfect Match, and then I'm like
Uh-huh.
invested. And like I just think it's an escape from,
Hmm.
thinking about prep or thinking about how hungry I am. And I'm just watching like just, hot people like date each other on a beach and they're all couple swapping. And I'm just kind of like, this is entertaining as shit. And I enjoy it. And every summer, Love Island usually comes on around the time that I'm prepping. So it's like very nostalgic. I'm like, oh, this feels like prep. So that's my guilty pleasure. And
Like
I'm losing
everything.
brain cells, I'm sure, watching it, but I don't care. I do not care. I
I
love
feel
it.
like everything I do in prep, I almost like I just don't do as intensely
There's
because
nothing
I
that
do
you
the
like
listening.
you ditch when you're out of prep, like you like any habits or
I
anything.
will pose. I'm like really bad at
Oh
posing.
yeah, I never
Like
pose after.
yeah,
Oh, it's terrible. I should, but
I'm really bad about it. Like I've gotten way better at it because I have so many posing clients and I help a lot of women,
that
so I do
helps.
it
Yeah,
way
I
more.
do it with
Yeah,
clients, but not. I wouldn't go
before,
downstairs and pose.
but I will say, I mean, I guess it's not really a guilty pleasure, but it is kind of weird. I just being in like how we are. I do the list thing. I actually have it on my phone right now. Even now, like in my reverse, I still do it. I use my notepad and I have like bulletin points and I'll lay out
Yeah.
because I eat 6 times a day. I lay out like protein, veggie, carb, and I know the grams in my head
Hmm.
and I will just tick them off. And I'll
Yeah.
do that like right now too. And it helps me, especially like, okay, Friday, for example, it helps me a lot because like I know how like Aaron and I are. I know like most likely he's going to want to go out to dinner. And I know like if we go out to dinner, how am I going to fit that into like my reverse? So like I'm mindful of it. And if I like have those tick marks, I'll be like, well,
Yeah.
I just won't, I'll use the carbs from this meal and move it to dinner and
That's
stuff
really
like that.
smart, actually. I should do that in my reverse as well because I kind of just like, like I'm sure I go
Yeah.
over and I don't really track much in my reverse. Like I just
Like
kind of eat the same things and I'm like,
mhm.
oh, it's been 5 days since
I
a cheat
can't
meal. That's a
do
good idea.
I can't do the macro. Like I can't. You talk
Oh,
about
I
our
can't
obsessive
either.
nature. You give
I
me like
can't.
if you give me like, oh, you're supposed to eat this many, like just give me 20 grams, 6 meals, let's call it a day. I'll split it up and move it
Like
around.
I can take my macros. Like when I worked with a coach that did macros, I would write out a meal plan and I would never
Mhm.
track anything. Like I would just do that one day and then I was like, this is what I'm going to eat. And I would just write it on like a piece of paper and stick it on the side of my fridge. Because it's too complicated. And like maybe if something came up, I would then go in and retool it. But like otherwise, I really ate the same thing all the time. But I
Like
love that idea because then sometimes I think, that can happen where, hey, you want to go out to eat tonight? And then you can kind of look ahead, plan.
mhm.
But then I also think too, it's good to kind of see, okay, like, because you can have a random Tuesday that you're going out with friends and you get to Saturday and you're like, oh, I can have a cheat meal, but you kind of like forget that you went out Tuesday. And so
Mhm.
maybe like keeping better track of that. I think the list making is definitely goes away when I'm not in prep because I think that is the one thing that I just need a little break from is the rigidity and the structure and like I'm a pretty organized person anyways, but every hour of my day is scheduled and it's ticked off and there's to-do lists and it is just
Yeah.
a lot. So like I
In the
enjoy being
morning, I've
spontaneous a bit.
got more relaxed. Yeah. In the
Yeah.
mornings is I did okay, that is a thing that has changed relatively recent. So like I am so good about during prep, like I go to bed so early. early. Like I'll go to bed at 8, 9, like I'll go super early. I'll wake up 4 or 5. And then so that's where I'm like the morning parent and then Aaron's like the night parent. And we've always divided and conquered. But we have noticed how it's affected like our time together a little bit. Cause like it's 7 o'clock. I can't start a movie if I'm gonna go to bed, you know? So and
Yeah.
then he's busy at work and he can't do anything till later. So I told him after the show that I'm gonna like mess with my sleep schedule to like be able to like stay up later. So I've been so now I stay up till like 11ish, midnight. At midnight's hard, but like
You
I'm
texted
getting
me
there.
late last night. I was
I
like, girl,
know.
what are you doing up so late? I read it
Yeah.
this morning at
No,
4
we
when I
had
woke
game
up.
night yesterday. That was so much
Oh,
fun.
that's so
I went on
fun.
like a 5 mile walk with some friends and then came back from the friends and went straight into dinner. And then because we had nothing scheduled, we just had this open time. We played Uno, which was so funny that my husband forgot how to play Uno. Let's all laugh about that for a minute.
I forget. I haven't
And
played it in a long time.
we
It's
had to
like
read the
riding a bike,
rules.
though. Yeah.
It really was. And then we played Mario Party. So we had like kind of game night. It was fun.
Next question.
But
This
okay,
is the
rapid
slowest
fire. You
rapid
said
fire
guilty.
ever. That's probably why they have music on when they do these, so people don't like talk too much. Okay.
Okay.
Favorite prep condiment or seasoning? Don't explain why.
Oh,
Just say what it is.
oh, hands down, no sugar added ketchup. Live
Really?
off that. Love it. Or salsa, hot sauce, everything bagel seasoning.
One.
I named like 3. Your turn.
Okay,
Go.
I have one. I don't play around.
I already know
It's
what yours is.
I know, girl. I could take a bath in this stuff. It is Melinda's truffle hot sauce. I love this shit. It's so
I need to
good.
try it. I haven't tried it yet.
I have it in, I have a big box of 200 packets coming today. You can buy it in
course you do.
bottles. But
Yeah.
I hate measuring condiments. It's so annoying. I'm like licking the little baby tiny teaspoon. And
That's how
then
I
with
feel about peanut
traveling
butter.
so much, I've been on like friggin' 12 trips this prep. It just makes it simple. Good for measuring. Now I can, and I can measure sodium, things like that. It's prep friendly. I will link it below. It's so good. It's good on anything. It's good on eggs. It's good on everything. It's my absolute favorite. There is nothing I love more. Okay, and I'm gonna skip past the next one because that's gonna be too long. We'll save that for another one. Favorite exercise for upper body? Just one.
Lateral raise, shoulder lat raise.
Okay. I like
Yours.
face pulls. All different angles of face pulls, like standing, bent
Yeah.
over, like that motion. Favorite exercise for lower body? This is so personal. Everybody has a different one.
Recently, actually, mine changed. Reverse hack squat.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I have a machine that isn't at my gym, but it is at Gold's in Teterboro, New Jersey, which I will be visiting next week twice. Can't wait to see my people there. It's the best gym. It's like one of the last Gold's gyms in this country. Anyways, they have this machine. I don't know what it's called, but you put your legs in it and then you put a little belt on and then you push your legs out in like an adductor.
Oh,
What's
our
that
gym has
called?
something like that. No, our gym
Lots
has
of
that.
gyms have them, but mine doesn't, and it is like the best machine.
No,
Because
I remember
it's like
our
a hip
owner.
thrust, but also an adductor. It's the
Yeah, you're
tits.
seated, right?
Yeah.
And you have the belt. Yeah. No. Oh man, we have
Looks
it.
like you're giving
and
birth.
our
You
owner
do.
said
I've
that
seen
it took
you.
forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our owner
So
said
that's
it
my
took forever to
absolute
get.
favorite. That's great. And if I
can't
don't
remember
have
what
that, for me, the exercise that has made like the biggest difference in my shape is Smith machine wide raise or wide leg deadlifts. As
Oh, so close. I was
Game
gonna say
changer.
I loved I love Smith machine wide stance squats.
And I love those
Just-
like reverse hypers too on the Smith machine where you lay on the bench and you put your feet on the
We have a
bar.
machine that has that. That like
I know
is that.
And I think that I always say to people, like, I have to adapt everything because I'm so short. I have a whole bag of
Oh.
tricks with me when I go to the gym to like make everything hit the spot the way that it should. Like, they have a hip
Mm-hmm.
thrust machine at the gym I go to, but it doesn't work for my body. Like, I feel like it's all quad. So I always do them in the Smith machine with double benches and all this. People are like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
we have a machine for that. I'm like, yeah, yes, I know. I practically live at this place.
Yeah.
But yeah, that once you get that exercise to work, it hits just right. It's just such a little like, ooh, builds the peach. So
It's the best when you can feel it. Because we have girls that will
yeah,
do that at our gym because we have two different hip thrust machines, and one is perfect for me, so it's great. But I'm
yeah,
also almost 5'7", and there's some girls that will do. It's not really the hip thrust; it's other things, but they'll modify things around the gym and use
yeah.
bench and all sorts of different stuff for things. But it's whatever
Well,
works
that's
for
a
our bodies.
really good segue into our full Q&A. And one of our big questions
Mm.
was booty growth. And so the question I got was, I feel like I've tried everything and my glutes will not grow. What are your tips?
I feel like this was a perfect segue. Did you plan this?
I maybe, maybe.
That was like a perfect segue.
I know, it's beautiful. What a
Uh,
transition. What a pro.
Flawless.
Is this episode 30? It
What?
is. It's
It
episode
is.
30. Aw, we've
That's
come a long
crazy.
way. Okay, moving on.
So
Sorry.
long.
Oops, squirrel.
Okay, booty growth.
Okay, you have a beautiful, beautiful peach. So share with our listeners if you've always had a beautiful peach or if
Mm-mm.
you had to build that baby up from a pancake.
Oh, it wasn't a pancake, but I had to build it. Oh, girl.
Hmm.
Mm. I will never forget when I realized I had to build it, and I felt like that. I felt like squirrel. I was backstage at a show and I was talking to a girl, and this was back in 2022, and I was like
Hmm.
just BSing with her, and she's like, I just lift really heavy. She was a lot younger than me, and she's
Yeah.
like, I've just been lifting really, really heavy. I After that show weekend, I went to the gym and I was like, I wonder how heavy I could actually lift. Girl, I was only hip thrusting like maybe it was a straight bar for one, and it was only like 60, 70 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, girls listening, like, do not underestimate how strong we are
Yeah.
with I just decided that day to hop on this was a different gym at the time, a machine, and do a hip thrust, and I easily could just go, I can't remember exactly, but it was over 150, almost 200, and it was just like, of course it wasn't easy, but I'm like, I can do this.
Yeah.
It's time, and it's realizing that you can lift heavy, and it's lifting heavy. It
Yeah.
is, that's what it is. So that's what, like, what I took 2023 off. That was the rest of 2022.
Yeah.
And so now I've just been lifting heavy, even with my back injury. Like, I just modify things,
Yeah.
or back pain. I don't want to say injury, like hip issues, but like I just modify stuff. Like, there's workouts that I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel good today, or this doesn't, I can't do this. And I
Yeah.
still lift heavy. I just might have to drop weight or change the machine, and like it works.
Yeah.
So,
So
what
lift
about
heavy.
you? Especially like in your 40s, like I'm not there yet, but you've been, growing your glutes. What is your advice?
Yeah, well, so I have several challenges. I don't really have the genetics for like this sport at all. I've had to really just build my body. Like I was, athletic in high school and college. Like I was a cheerleader, but like I don't come from like a line of athletes and people with, great structure and whatnot. So yeah, I really had to build my glutes. So, but by the time I started to really get into like progressive overload and like actively trying to grow my glutes, I just hit a wall because I'd been training for so long and my body was just kind of like, more of the same. And so I realized a lot of mistakes that I was making. One of them was under eating. So
That's what I was about to say.
just
Yeah.
always dieting, that doesn't really help you, perform your best. So new old way dieting, new way is, timing my carbohydrates around my workouts, which for me looks like 60 or 70% of the carbs that I eat for the day are like in the morning around my workouts before and after. And so that strategy has really worked for me. And then heavy lifting, yes, but intensity. Like I don't think that until I met James, who's my current coach, I don't think that I focused on intensity. I was just like, oh, this girl I follow on Instagram can hip thrust 280 pounds. I'm going to make that my goal. it's totally not even the best exercise for my body. And I'm trying to, what am I doing? So I really started to focus on intensity. And that's been a game changer, like really just getting to the point where you can't even complete, 2 more reps, but then you do it
Yeah.
anyways. Training to that level of intensity. I mean, I used to get stressed about going to the gym in a good way, but nervous because I'm like, I got to really think about, this exercise and getting that really pushing. Did I push hard enough, leaving the gym and going like, did I really push myself enough? Once I realized, man, all these years I just didn't have the intensity in my training. So that was a big one, was intensity, and just like, okay, well that was 10 easy reps. Like, let me make sure I take enough of a rest break so that I can recoil and come back and next set make it harder.
And if
So
you
that really helped.
continuously, I feel like we also don't have to think of when we're lifting heavy that we need to be a couple things. If you're lifting like 10 reps and it's not easy, but it's challenging, but it's not like really challenging, you don't have to sit there and add like plates onto it. Like add 5 pounds, add 10
Mhm.
pounds. Like
There's so many
babies,
ways. Do
there's
like,
like little things.
pulses or, add a band. Like there's a
Exactly.
lot of different
Hmm.
ways because I think that what has happened is like, you see these incredible feats of strength and you're like, oh my gosh, look at this girl, how much she can deadlift. And like, it's not about that. Like the judges are never going to be like, and how much can you squat? Like they don't care. And
Just
especially
like
if you're
they
hurt,
don't care about how much you
don't get
weigh.
hurt. Like the last thing I want to do
Hmm.
at my age is get hurt and like, oh, this place would burn down without me if I was hurt. So I'm really cognizant of that. So yeah, I think that was huge. And then I think too, another thing was like doing a million different exercises. Like I've done
Yeah.
the same like core exercises for glutes for 9 months. Like
Hmm.
I found the things that worked. They are in every workout and they're in a different sequence. They're the same movements. I've got 4 leg days a week. That's the other thing is I train lower body a lot.
Yeah.
But I hit the same motions or movements every week. And then as my like strength has decreased in prep, I'm doing, like you say, like finding ways to find a little bit more intensity, either doing like drop sets or like some forced reps, pulses, holds, like squeezes, like on a kickback. I might hold and squeeze at the top for like 5 seconds until like my leg's gonna fall off. So that's been
Yeah.
ways to find intensity when your strength decreases, when your energy levels are like in prep. So yeah, and then creatine. I take creatine, which a lot of people are
Yeah.
scared of, but I wouldn't never stop taking that. I think it's amazing. You have to make sure you stay hydrated, but that's not a problem. But
Yeah.
I think that's been something that's been great for recovery and for muscle growth. So
Hmm.
I don't
I
know.
always
Am
have
I?
a little, I always think, because it's a baby scoop, there's little tiny scoops.
Yeah.
Um, a little creatine in the morning, baby. It's just
Oh,
great
baby.
with
Yeah.
my drink for the gym.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that.
Those are some good tips. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Next question. How
And
much
then,
time? Oh, sorry. How much
oh,
time should you
I was
take
gonna
off?
say it.
I got my list up on the
Get
menu
it,
over here.
girl, get it.
Okay. How much time should you take off in an improvement season?
It's gonna be different for everybody. Is the answer to that? I mean,
General guidelines.
so if you're getting done with a show and your judge's feedback is that you need more muscle definition, you
Hmm.
need it. Your coach knows you need it. The judges say you need it. Really, I would look at, I want to say 8 months ish time frame. And when I say that, you have to first consider your first month or two. So your first 8 weeks is going to be bringing your calories up. So it you have to still take away 8 weeks out of that. So you're bringing your calories up. You're getting into maintenance calories. You're starting to have more energy. You're starting to be able to lift probably what you were previously at the gym, now that your calories are raising and your energy is going back. And then now that you're kind of at that level, it's a matter of like, okay, we need to focus on growing. We need to keep trying to raise your calories and keep getting you to a place where you're able to lift heavy and grow. So from there, I mean, that kind of turns into 6 months, I would say. But even after 6 months, it's like, what do you want to do? Are you wanting to go back to stage? Do you want to lean out? You can do, oh my gosh, I'm blanking out what people call it, a mini cut. I think that's what it is. Where people, right? Where, okay, you're eating really high calories, you're doing a great job, you've been lifting heavy. You kind of want to see what you look like if you start leaning out a little bit. You're not really wanting to commit to a long prep, but you want to see what you kind of lean out and look like a little bit. So then you do a mini cut and you kind of drop some calories down, see what it looks like, see how your body reacts too.
Yeah.
Because what if you drop calories and your cardio is really low, and all of a sudden your body's not responding to those calories that are dropping, and
Yeah.
so it's kind of just you figure out what works for you. But that would kind of be my way of looking at it.
Yeah. I think it depends on the journey of each person, and also
Mm-hmm.
how long you were prepping for and what your season was like, and then what the feedback is. And if you're real serious about it and you got pretty far, and let's say, you won an overall at a regional show, you went to nationals and you didn't place inside the top 10, I think you should take a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why I think that, because let's say you come back, you turn pro. You want to be able to go into the pro league and be ready for the pro league. And they have more muscle. These are very experienced athletes. So if you take off 2 years and you really dedicate yourself to building muscle, you behave like an athlete, you're really intentional, and you come back and you get your pro card, then you can go right into, rather than
Like a pro
doing a
debut, yeah.
doing like 8 to 12 months, then doing a 6 month prep, competing at 3 national shows, finally getting your pro card, then going to the pro league, getting last, and having to take another year off. So I think that saves time in the long run. And then I also think it's person to person, because there are people that put on muscle fast, newer athletes, and you can be a new athlete in your 40s and 50s. I'm not saying young athletes. I'm saying everyone's different. But if you're new,
Muscle age.
and yeah, you can put muscle on fast. You don't need to take that much time, but everyone's a little bit different. And then it also depends on how intentional you are. If you're dicking around, you need more time. And that just might be because you are burnt out and you just need more of a break, and that's fine. But you can't have a crappy year and then do 4 months of a build and be like, I took a year and 4 months off. You didn't work hard that whole time. So, because I see that a lot too.
I've met, what's interesting about that is I've met more men that happens to. I've met quite a few men that'll
I
be
was gonna say that.
and they freely admit it. They're like, I ate like shit after my show. I ate like shit. I was just a terrible
Trained
eater.
twice a
And they're
week.
like, yeah, they're like, I just, fucked around, whatever. And
Yeah.
then they're like, now I'm ready to get serious again. And then they'll do a 6-month prep, and they'll go on stage. But it's like you said, it's at what level? And then I think another thing is that to really consider, where it's person to person, is not only how long was your prep and how long were you in, a prep, low calorie, high cardio. What do your hormones look like?
I was going to say, how healthy are you?
Right?
Yep.
How
Yeah,
healthy are you?
100%.
Because
Yeah.
what is your estrogen and progesterone? What is your cortisol? What
It's
is,
your
your
mind
thought,
and
your
your-
T3, T4?
Yes.
Where is everything? Is everything plummeted? And do you have to get everything regulated again? Are you going to do that naturally? Are you going to do it synthetically?
Yeah.
How long is that medication going to take? Because if that medication is going to take several months, well, then your body's not even going to respond to any metabolic changes because your hormones are all over the place.
And how's your relationship with food? How's your mindset? How's your motivation? If those things are all in a bad place, then you're going to need more time just to get those things optimal. And I think putting pressure on yourself of I'm just going to take 6 months off is just, you'll just be disappointed. There just comes a point where I think once you've done, a couple of shows, it's okay, next time I come back, I don't want to just look good. I want to be competitive. So if you want to be competitive, I think it's just smart to, get healthy and, good digestion, good hormones, good mindset, all of that, really be solid. And it can be hard. It's a long time to think about taking that much time off, but you have a lot more money in the bank. So just save your money and it'll be so worth it when you come back, because you'll really be able to look at your body and go, look at what I did. Look at the improvements that I made. And it doesn't happen fast. So you just have to buckle in and you can still stay involved. The girls on our team, when they're in off season, they put on a team shirt, they come to the shows, they pose in the team photo, they come to our group meetups. It doesn't, just because you're not competing around doesn't mean you're not a competitor, and you're still training. So it just can feel you get FOMO when people start prepping and you're like, oh, not now,
I
but
love
your time will come.
all the different stuff.
Seminars and going to things.
I will easily use myself as an example for this, because I have gotten asked many times, like, when are you going on stage again? When are you going on stage again? And my answer is it's so rapid fire. It's so rapid. I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I have zero idea. But my answer is because of kind of everything we named, everything we talked. One, next time I go on stage, I want to be competitive. Not that I wasn't competitive before, but I know I wasn't conditioned as I needed to be. For my physique to get as conditioned as it needs to be, the things that I need to do, I just couldn't do anymore without being an astronomical amount of pain with my hip.
Yeah.
I knew that 4 weeks prior to going into the Omaha show. I knew I could get to the Omaha show that I did. I knew I could have fun, be competitive, have a good time. But I knew I wasn't as conditioned as I could be because I couldn't, my body wasn't going to do it anymore. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
And I knew that and I accepted that. But I also knew after the show, I needed to get healthy, right? And so I need to go back, focus on rest and recovery, massage. I can't do high cardio right now. I can't. Even my cardio didn't get that high, but like I couldn't do, oh my, I can't even remember what it was. I think I got like 60 minutes, 40 minutes, like in between that range. But I also had to do it on an incline and on a treadmill and early in the morning. And then I was traveling a lot. So, but I had to listen to my body tell me, like, this is what I have to do. If I want to be competitive next go around, then, you know, let's enjoy the improvement season, love my body for what it can do, heal, recover, you know, of course, get hormones checked, everything, you know, do all of the work, do all the health, and go into an improvement season until I can come back and be competitive and be healthy. So it's like, you know, everything we kind of just touched on.
Yeah. It's not a straight answer. You know, there's just so many different, but I think, you know, I think building muscle is the key to this sport. This division is bodybuilding. Like, even though it's bikini bodybuilding, it's still bodybuilding. So you have to build your body if you want to be competitive. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Next question.
Yeah. And
sorry.
No,
Anything
I was
else?
just going to say, like, staying involved in the sport too. Like going to the shows.
There's so many
like,
opportunities.
Go get
like a pass and go to Ohio and go to the Arnold Expo. And, you know, if you live near things, like, go to shows, you know, it's still like, you're still a part of it, you know? So, okay. So next question. I'm new to competing, but I want to take it as far as I can. What are the steps to earning your IFBB Pro card?
Yeah, Gillian, what are the steps to earning your IFBB Pro card?
Well, I wish I had a straightforward rapid fire answer, but 19 years later. Okay, well, you know, we do see 2 show pros. Those lucky sons of bitches. They are very lucky, but that's rare. You know, generally, you know, you have to, you know, you do a regional show. If you win top 2 in your open class, then you can go to nationals. Depending on the show, if, you know, they're giving away 1 pro card per height class, or there's 2 in the overall. There's several national shows throughout the year, kind of starting at the Arnold Amateur, going all the way through till December, with Masters USA. Well, Olympia is now September. Olympia Amateur.
Oh, that's right.
And then December is Masters USA and Nationals. Nationals is in what's Texas now. So it just depends. Like, some of the bigger national shows are like USA's, and Nationals at the end of the year are 2 pro cards per height class. And I think North Americans in the Open.
North Americans is 2 now.
And Universe in the Open. Yep. And then if you're a Masters competitor, to qualify, you just have to have you compete like in that 365 days, and then you're qualified just by competing. And then you go to nationals, and then there's, depending, I mean, in 40s and 50s, typically there's 1 pro card per height class at nationals. I do think wellness and men's bodybuilding over 50, I think it's like top 2 in the overall in those 2 particular divisions at Universe, only because that's the one I'm doing and I know that.
I will say, like, at Arnold's and all the international for like the Olympia, they have different rules. So if whenever you're going to register for a show, like, strategically plan your registration, because I know at some of these shows, like, not just like you said, like, there's only 1 or 2 pro cards, 1 pro card handed out in different height classes, 2 pro cards or overall. But I know, like, with the Arnold and the Olympia, they have different like rules as far as like entering to be able to get like your pro card. And I think they only do it for like the overall.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah, it's
like it
different
all
for
can change
everybody.
yearly too. So every year you should like read on the
Well, yeah,
NPC News
even
online.
like nationality, because back in like 2009, um, I'm a Canadian citizen with a green card, so I could only do North Americans. I couldn't do Masters Nationals. I couldn't do like any of the other national shows, because you had to be an American citizen. But they have since changed that, and now green card holders can do shows like USA's and nationals and all of that. So that opened the playing field, though, because there's people from all over that are living in America that, bring their
Yeah.
amazing Brazilian genetics to the stage. So yeah, so just, if that's what you want to do, I think it's important to, because it's so expensive. Like national
Yeah.
shows cost so much money. Like one division is like $400, whereas if you go to a regional show, you can do four classes for $400 and stay at a hotel for $89 a night. Like, you don't usually have to fly. Like, if when you're gonna go, like it'd be nice to say, I just want the experience. It's a very expensive experience.
You can have a very similar
Yeah.
experience for a quarter of the cost.
Yeah. So, I don't, and I think it could be really defeating too, as if you're like, it's only your second show and somebody told you to go to nationals. Like if you won and you did well and you're competitive and you've got a great coach and who can guide you, then hey, that's how these people get their pro card at their second show. But that's so rare. And, I think the smart way would be just to, get feedback and make sure that you're really ready when you get there, because it's the best of the best. Like, it doesn't matter if you're like the fittest lady at your gym. Like you're competing against the fittest ladies at every gym in the country, So,
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. Always look at it like that. Like just because you're the fittest and the like best
which
looking
is a
person, even
huge accomplishment. That's
it
amazing.
is.
But imagine you feel so good about yourself. Everyone's telling you, you look so great, you're going to win. And you are the fittest person at the gym. You've never looked this way. And you go to a show and you get last. Like because you went to nationals, somebody was like, yeah, just do it. Like, then it's like, it just really pops your bubble, right? So make sure if you're going to go to these big shows that you've got some guidance. Like, and I think you should have a posing coach, because they're moving you quick, and there
You
is
need
one
somebody that's
chance, one shot to
experienced.
do it. Yeah. So it takes preparation. I don't say any of that to scare people. I just want people to have a good experience. And it would suck for somebody to like be like, well, I did that and got my ass handed to me, I'm never competing again, right? Like, so
Yeah. I
I
also
think that,
think I also really, really, really want listeners to understand that you should really do your own research. And I mean,
yeah.
you have like, even if you have a posing coach, you have, your coach. If you've gone to regular, like regional shows, you've done really well. You've won your class, you've won your open. Let's say you even run overall multiple times. Go to NPC News.
Yeah,
Go and
see what's
like
winning. Look at the criteria that
see
they
what's
list.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't look at the
See what they're
pros, but look at who's
don't look
winning
at
these national
Instagram.
shows.
Don't
No, no,
don't
don't
look at
look at
social
things that
media.
are filtered and, whatnot. You know
Mm-hmm.
what's a good resource though? Is
What?
our guy
Wait, can we
Gilco.
pause? Wait, stop. I have to say something. You pronounce resource differently
No, I
because
don't.
you're Canadian. You say resource. It's just the way you say
Resources?
it.
You say
Resources.
treadmill.
Probably. Okay, continue. There was a
Is
podcast.
that American? Do Americans say treadmill? Or is it just me?
Treadmill.
It's
No, I think
Mandy.
it's just me. I think it's just me.
My daughter says it
I don't even
treadmill too. You in
treadmill.
Brooklyn. Huh.
Anyways, but yeah,
Resources.
see, you say resources. It's the that you're pronouncing.
I don't know.
Anyways, I noticed it when I was doing like
Yeah,
the studio work. Yeah.
I know.
But anyways, it's cute.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question. There's like 20 on this list, but I'm gonna just scoot down to the bottom because I think this is a juicy one. Kind of. Kind of. I feel like it comes up a lot. And I think that I've scratched my head before too. Okay. So the question was, what do you do with judge feedback? Particularly, what do the judges mean when they say tighter, more density, fuller, softer, or more balance? Because that is like, you need a glossary to be like, what do you
Yeah.
mean? Especially when they're like, you could be a little bit fuller and a little bit tighter, but make sure you're not too hard, be a little bit soft. And it's like, excuse me, like it
When you
sounds
say
like a
I understand what you're
laundry,
saying,
like
but like
I'm
I
going to the
can
dry cleaner. What? It's a
I
lot.
totally understand how it can be confusing. But when you talk like that, I'm like, yeah, okay. But like having to
Yeah.
say, okay.
So let's
So
start with tighter. Keeping it
I was
tight.
gonna keeping it tight. So I would say like if a judge, I would say mainly in your legs would be like the best
Yeah.
way to start with that, especially with
That's a
bikini wellness
conditioning
competitors.
question, conditioning feedback. I think like you just need
It
to be leaner. Well,
so and it
but
can be
oh, go ahead.
exactly. So this is where it gets all like
Yeah.
it gets tricky because
It is
judges are just
tricky.
judging what is brought to the stage. Here's why judges feedback. Okay, I'm gonna probably go down a rabbit hole just trying to explain it.
That's why I figured we'd start now so we don't go over 7 hours in
So
this episode.
the judges only see what you're bringing to the stage. You walk on stage, do your front back, and then go to the diagonal. So when judges see that, they could look at you and say, oh, she could be tighter. Okay. So you get your judges' feedback saying you could be tighter in your glutes. So your coach will take that, and when they say tighter, they mean like you're just they can't see like your hamstrings popping, they can't see your glute definition, they can't see your roundness, your fullness from the top to the bottom, the sides. And at a regional level, they don't have like you don't have to have tie-ins. So don't let that like stop you from stepping on stage by any means if you're tie-ins. And when we say tie-ins, we're talking about your glute to hamstring insertion right there and be able to
That
have
little
that pop.
diamond at the bottom of
Yeah.
your
I've
glute.
just had people not know what a tie-in is. So, but when they say that, like you could be tighter. You could be tighter, or you just might need to be more conditioned. Therefore, you may need to be leaner.
Be
And
leaner.
if and leaner, and so if you were leaner in your legs, so maybe more cardio, lesser calories, and let's say you kind of fine tune this in a couple weeks and step back on stage, you could be
Yep.
perfect, right?
Just a
So,
little bit. I mean, your conditioning was off. Basically means that you just, need to lose a little bit more body fat or build a little bit more muscle because sometimes
yep.
you can lose body fat and then if you don't have the foundation underneath, you're not going to be tighter. So, I think generally they're kind of talking about things jiggling or not being tight. Like, high tight round glutes and minimal body fat. I mean, some body fat is natural and healthy and that's what makes this softer look. So it's a fine line, and that's where it would be so hard to coach yourself in this sport. I know people who do it, but like it'd be so hard because you could look at your body and think you need to be, leaner and you
I
don't. And
think
you
the
overshoot, you're
mixture,
too lean.
yeah. I think the mixture between density and fullness is tricky too, because again,
Yes.
a judge is going to see you on stage and be like, "Oh, her shoulders could need to be fuller." Do they though? Because like maybe you just did like a
Mm-hmm.
massive carb load, you did everything you possibly could, you came as full as you could without spilling over, which you can explain
Ooh,
that.
that's high
But
level.
yeah, spilling over. And
Yeah.
your coach knows that, but the judge says you need to come in fuller, but you can't come in fuller.
You're
So
as full as you
therefore,
can be. Yeah. You have
you
to
need
grow.
more muscle.
Yeah.
You actually need to be like denser. But the judge doesn't know that, but they're going to think fuller, whereas like you need to have more muscle. But
Yeah.
let's
And
say
I
you
think
didn't carb
that's,
load.
yeah.
You might need to be
Maybe
fuller,
you
so
were a
you
bit
need to do a
flat.
different peak week or
Mm-hmm.
peak protocol.
Yep. Yeah. I think these words are they're so complicated, but the density one is one that I like to talk about because sometimes people don't need to be bigger. Like you don't
Mhm.
need big giant glutes and big giant shoulders, but you might just need more density, which means that there's more projection, like in your glutes when you're standing in your back pose, that they are nice and round and the skin is tight on the glutes because they're nice and full because you just built up that density, and some people
Mhm.
just, they're not born with it or they just don't have the muscle maturity. So you don't need to go away and build a giant butt. You just need to take what you've got and really build that density. So, like, and you can come into a show, like you said, flat. Either you didn't carb up enough or you're too depleted and then your muscle's like a little balloon and you just got to fill that balloon up. But
Mhm.
if you push too hard or if you're trying to fill up something that isn't there and you're just pushing a bunch of carbs hoping that you fill out and it's done filling, it spills into the space between the skin and the muscle, and then you look softer and you'll look like you got more body fat, but all that really happened is just that you just went too far with trying to fill up, and you filled yourself as much as you could. So
and then on the
that's a tough
flip
one.
side of that is being flat. And this is
Yeah.
also why people after shows will look super poppy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because like you just, quick way to explain what flat is easily off what you just said. There are muscles, like our shoulders, they're just balloons and they need to fill up.
Yeah.
You didn't fill them up. And therefore,
And either you
look
just
flat.
didn't, maybe you pulled water too hard, which you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Some people still, like old school coaches, like still will cut water from girls. And it's just like, okay, well, something has to shuttle the carbohydrates around. And then, if there's not enough water, then the muscle is not going to, fill out the way that it should. And I think everybody just thinks it makes your waist big. I'm like, it's water. I don't know. It's weird. But we've learned so much over the years. And I've done that old way of doing it where you tried to get rid of as much water as possible and you'd be on stage like so thirsty. But yeah, it wasn't a good look. Not like it is now. It's much healthier. Balance. If somebody gets the feedback that they need to balance their top and bottom, this is me, 2018 balance, grow into my boobs was my feedback. So what does that piece of area of improvement mean?
It means you're off balance. No. So the criteria for, again, bikini is what we're talking about. You need to have that hourglass shape. Your delts and your clavicle need to have like a good round shape to them. You need to have a tapered waist, not a harsh V, tapered waist with a round glutes and a slight separation of your quads to your hamstrings. Slight, like very slight. No striations, which means you can see the muscle fibers in them. But anyways, I literally just had a brain fart.
I knew it was coming. I
Oh
could
my
see it. I
gosh.
could smell it and see it. I'm looking at your face. I'm like, here it comes.
I
I know
really
you
did.
too well.
Balance. Oh my gosh,
balance.
like balance. No. So like let's say
I should have like
I
cue
just,
cards.
oh my goodness, stop it.
Did you see
I don't
Taylor
either.
Swift had a brain fart on her own song at her
No.
own concert the other night?
Aw,
Yeah,
poor
I
girl.
know.
No, I did
love
not.
her.
But
Yeah, she did.
okay, so balance. So let's just say you love lifting upper body more than lower body. Let's just say you're that person. Let's say your shoulders come in beautiful, nice, full, bubbly, perfect little delts, right? Well, your glutes didn't. So your top is way bigger than your bottom. You're not balanced. Your hourglass shape isn't balanced. So when you get this feedback, you need to figure out what is off balance and you need to be able to work on in those like areas.
Yeah.
So that's what it means.
I think that's very common for new athletes to like have imbalances. It's really hard to build a balance physique. It takes time. So, and it's top to bottom, front to back. So you don't win shows with one body part. You win them with overall conditioning and overall development, and like that, upper body matches the lower body, glutes match the quads, match the hamstrings. It sounds like a tall order, but if you just design your program, or somebody who coaches you designs your program appropriately so that you can, stay balanced and fit the criteria. So, sometimes girls come in and maybe they have a very developed upper body from, playing softball or whatever it might be, or they've got, really powerful legs, not quite big enough for wellness, but maybe a little bit too big for bikini, or, overpowering quads and their glutes are not developed. So, that's what building balance means, is you're not training for what you like, but training for the division. People ask me all the time, like, do you train chest? And I'm like, what for? Like, it's literally not judged. And so I don't waste my time on it. And it doesn't bother me, but something like, I like to bench. I'm like, okay, well, bodybuilding isn't like about what you like. It's about what builds your body for. Yeah. Like, I didn't train quads for years. I always thought my quads were too big. Well, then my butt grew and now I'm training quads again. So you just have to do whatever you need to do for your body for that, improvement that you're trying to make. So yeah. I think that about, softer is the other thing, which I think, honestly, I
feel like
a
we
lot
kind
of
of touched on
girls,
that though.
well, I think one thing that is important to mention is like girls my age, like we have like really thin, we don't have really thin, we start to get thinner skin as we get older. It's just like part of it. Like younger girls have thicker skin. And so, they might be really, really lean, but they're not going to always look as shredded as like somebody who's older because their skin is just thicker. It doesn't mean they have more body fat. The body fat could literally be the same. I mean, I have like literally paper thin skin almost everywhere on my body. Like I have veins on veins on veins on veins. I did not look this way 10 years ago. Like it's just as I've gotten older, it's just part of it. So you have to be careful when you get up on stage that you don't look emaciated because
That's interesting you say that.
I've seen
No,
girls in the 40s and
yeah.
50s that they're turning in their back pose and you can see striations on their glutes because, they are too hard and they aren't, their skin is so thin and they're very lean and conditioned. But it's that fine line of like, do you gain body fat and lose a bit of the conditioning so that you look softer? But you just can't have that like paper thin skin where they can see literally the sinew of your hamstrings on the back of your legs because
Yeah.
they don't want that for a bikini. So, but I do think it gets harder in the like, 40s and 50s and 60s, just because that's just how it is. And men too, right? So, and I think that's
Yeah.
the
You
reason
definitely
why,
get veinier because I've
yeah,
never, ever, ever been this veiny. And
yeah,
I've gotten that a lot, especially like because I've been lifting for, 10 years or something. And I've done multiple shows and I've never had poppy veins per se, but I even have veins that are in my like shins now.
yeah.
And I have veins in my forearms and it's like, well, I built up a lot of muscle and I'm older.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't
you
know.
look at like guys at my gym that are in their 60s and they have literally just like veins everywhere, like just all
Yeah.
over their body, just because they're so muscular, they're lean, and then their skin is thin
Hmm.
just from being older. So, that's just how
Yeah.
it is. And that's why I'm grateful for the Masters divisions. James was asking me if I was competing in Open at Universe. I'm like, you are hilarious. No. I do not. It's like 9 hours later. It's such a big show.
Oh,
And
that's
like
right. Yeah.
they start with
I
like
remember you telling me that.
wellness starts at 9 and then they go 60s, 50s, 40s, 35, then
Oh,
open starts. So I'm like, no, I am no. That's no. I'm going back to my
no.
room and I'll see you at finals. So, anyways.
Well,
All
this was a
right.
fun Q&A.
These are my favorite. I love
These
these.
are
Like I
always
love
fun.
guests, but
But
I'm always nervous when we have a guest. I'm like, what if my Wi-Fi goes out? What if I
oh,
mispronounce their name? What if I burp?
it always ends up being fun. It's always just like the first
Yeah,
like five,
I
ten
just
minutes,
don't
and then
want
we're
to
like,
screw it up. Yeah,
yeah.
I know, and
Yeah,
everyone's
it's just
been
because
so
we're always so
nice.
grateful.
I know, I
Yeah.
know.
But the
So,
Q&As
well,
are fun because it is,
yeah,
I always hear like, at the gym, it's like you have girly talk at the gym. Like, this is kind of what girly talk is. You just
yeah,
BS about like really common things and we all talk about it. So, but yeah, but also listeners, we will not be having an episode next week because somebody will be competing on Friday next week. So we will have an episode the following week recapping Gillian's amazing
and we have an
universe.
awesome guest coming up too. We're bringing on IFBB Pro
Yes.
April Conley. She is amazing. I'm really excited to talk to her. So she
Yeah.
will be coming up this month as well. Well, July. So yeah, as well as
It's
some other
July. That's
amazing
crazy.
guests. So if there's somebody that you would like to see us interview, granted they have to be a mama. We don't interview dudes on this show. Then let us know and we can reach out to them and see if they will come on and share their story with us.
Thank
Yeah.
you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you here in
Yes.
2 weeks.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
Bye.